Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have yet another cast of the SpyParty Masters Championship 2024. It is the third week of the Champions Round Robin, and today we have a matchup deciding the number one and number two seed in this group. It's going to be Rav versus Opiwrites, and to help break that down, I've enlisted the help of the two wonderful grasters. It's Grash and Slappy Davis. Take it away, gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Wrestler. Very excited to be casting this game with Slappy. I think it's going to be a really good game. Like Wrestler mentioned, we're fighting for the top uh, finisher from our group here between Opiwrites and Rav, both of whom defeated myself, Grosh, and Martini. Um, and so the winner here will get to play the second place finisher from the bottom bracket. So they'll get a somewhat easier semifinal going into the final round. So that'll be a good benefit. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. These are both really strong players, both coming into this tournament. Probably on the rusty side, but have shown themselves to be quite capable of de-rusting and really kicking it to me and Martini.
Yeah, and so they're in this interesting position where they have both looked pretty good, and as you've mentioned, particularly Rav. So there's a curiosity here that presumably this could be the finals preview. If they want, they could hide any specific tech, but I don't necessarily think that either one of them is going to whip out like go tech specific, even if they met in the finals anyway. I think that they would like to win this, not even just for the fact that they get first, not even just for pride, but actually put some intimidation in their potential future opponent. And I don't know how you feel about this, Crash, but I think so. Rob has looked good. Um, I think that both of these players feel like they could beat the other player if they just played their best. And like that's an interesting position because oftentimes people come in feeling like an underdog, but I don't think that Opie would feel like an underdog in this situation. He just knows that he'd have to play really well. And I would imagine that that Rob would feel particularly confident coming into this as well, especially if he's been feeling good recently. So we're in this spot where I think they're just gonna play strong as they can today, and actually specifically not try to whip out anything too crazy. They might super lean into an opportunity that comes up during a particular game, but I don't know if we'd have any top-down tech from either one of them. I don't know if you agree or not on that.
Yeah, no, I think you're making good points there, Slappy. I think you're right. These are both players who are really just solid. Neither of them, I think, is going to be pulling out new fancy tech. Neither of these are like pathing snipers. I don't think either of them are really working on that. This isn't a situation like Firelord Ethan or Astine Effect. I more so Firelord Ethan, I think, where they might possibly, I'm not really expecting this, but pull out some fancy new tech in the finals and really wow people with it. No, I think these are just strong, classically strong players who are going to play really well. And kind of thinking about them, Rav hasn't dropped a single sniper game this tournament yet. It's really been very scary, very impressive. And you'll kind of see from the standings here in his games against myself and Martini, really commanding victories, and with bigger margins than Opiwrites. So I think Opiwrites is going to have something to prove here in terms of just showing an extremely solid sniper. But I mean, I think he's very capable of it, like you said. I think either of them could win if they're playing their best. But it'd be my impression that Opiwrites is going to be the one who's going to have to step up the most.
Yeah, and absolutely either one could win, but it's interesting to me. It's intriguing, and I don't know if this is always just true among top players. That I just think the belief that they just need to do it, that they just need to play to their strengths. The thing that does happen though is the benefit of feeling like you have a plan for a later part of this the set is I do think that momentum can matter more when it's just two players that feel like they need to win out a match based on just strength. That losing an early losing an early sniper game can actually really matter. So very curious how that kind of shakes out as far as the draft order goes, which I believe is here on screen. You want to talk us through the draft real quick?
Yeah, so what we're seeing here, Rov bans balcony. I think he's banned balcony every round so far this tournament, so just not wanting to play balcony. Meanwhile, Opiwrites has banned aquarium, and Opiwrites pretty much always bans aquarium whenever aquarium is a potential ban. So I'm not surprised to see either of these bans. And then the restricts, I think, is where it gets a bit more interesting. Opiwrites restricts Veranda, and Rov is known to like Veranda, and perhaps Opiwrites deciding that he doesn't really want to play that game against Rov. It doesn't feel like you're going to win a spy against Rov on Veranda. Um, and on the other hand, you've got Rov banning High Rise, and I feel like that's a scarier venue if you're playing Opiwrites, because, right, Opiwrites is just so good at rushing, and I think if Opiwrites is going to be winning some games here, that's where I think it's going to happen, is going to be where there's just too much progress that's not seen by Rov. Um, but that's where all the challenge is going to be, I think, is that I think Rov is just such a good sniper intuitively, and that I think he's going to be very willing to shoot if he thinks he knows who the spy is, even if he misses a bug or something. And I feel like that's kind of the crux of how Opiwrites' sort of aggressive spy tends to operate on, which is, I might be your top suspect, but do you think I'm done yet? I think Rov is going to be willing to say yes. So, and looking at the rest of the picks here, Rov has picked Terrace, Veranda, and Gallery. All solid picks. Multiplying Gallery. And Opiwrites picking Ballroom, High Rise, and Modern, and multiplying Ballroom, which is his very, very favorite venue. Not surprised to see it multiply from Ballroom there. But do you have other thoughts, Slappy?
I think just that Terrace first is interesting. Just in that, you could just sometimes you just get like a cheesy little win off of Terrace. Terrace is tricky for the spy. I feel like it's an interesting one to lead with because I think it's a really easy sniper map or venue. If you've played a few games, I think it's kind of a weird map to get venue to get your bearings on. So I think that's one thing that's intriguing to me. The other thing that's I'm otherwise picks kind of like make sense. They're relatively what I expect, except for High Rise from OP. That was an interesting one to me. What's the variant of High Rise in this? Is it 3.6? 3
Yeah,
6?
it is. It is, I believe, 3 of 7 microfilm is forced on.
Perfect. Okay, so only microfilm is forced on.
Only microfilm, yeah. It's not the
Gotcha.
choice we've had in some variants before between microfilm and swap. I think it's just microfilm is forced on.
Gotcha. So that's an interesting one. And then the other thing that I noticed is it's interesting that Opie picked Modern last out of all of those venues because I don't see the angle for Opie on Modern. That's why I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah, I think it is interesting. Neither of these players picked like a Redwoods or a Tan. I feel like I think with Opiwrites, if anyone can win a spy, I hope it's him. Against Rov here, and it would feel like one of those venues would be a pretty logical pick into his style, but yet that's not what we see. I agree with you, Modern. It's pretty rough for the spy to win, and yet I feel like we have had some spicy high level competitive sets where there's interesting purloins and stuff, and so I guess we'll see.
Absolutely. And the last thing I want to say about these that's always intriguing when you have sniper favor is it might also be true in part of Opie's draft strategy that Rob Sniper, as you noted, he just hasn't dropped like any games yet. So you're not actually necessarily looking for the venue that gets you the best potential spy results. You're looking for the one that still has that kind of marginal benefit. And if Rob's just good at every venue and it just has like a super high win rate across every venue, then don't pick a venue that's hard for you to win as sniper. Pick one where you can get your regular sniper wins and not feel like you'd have to be angling on something in particular in Rov. So that also could be an angle there. But Probably just they liked these maps and there's not too many mind games going into it. So probably we can just get into it.
Certainly that's the case with the ballroom pick. I know that for sure. But I think your your thoughts there about the mindset of being a sniper against Rav make a lot of sense. Like you might as well ensure that you're going to win your sniper games and just hope you can be creative somewhere in there. So I think we have to go into predictions, right?
Yes, you don't get to avoid this.
Yeah, no, I've accidentally attempted to avoid it every time I've casted so far this tournament. I don't want to seem biased from everything I've said so far. I really want to root for Opiwrites to win, but I think Rava's going to win. And the reason why I think Rava's going to win is because I think he's just too much on his game right now. I think the key to winning high level Spy Party is not losing any sniper games. Rav hasn't lost any sniper games. I want to be surprised, but yet I do think Rav will end up victorious here.
Yeah, so to me, it's kind of an easy pick because Opie would want me to pick Rav regardless, because Opie would love nothing more than going against all the predictions anyway. So I don't think Opie
I
would
love
take
it.
any of offense
I
and
love
like
it.
would only enjoy. So I am going to pick Rav, but I do think that Opie has more motivation in this particular match than Rav does. I don't think that's gonna matter, and I think that Opie probably would not try not to think of themselves as having more motivation. But I know that Opie would just this is just an opportunity. This is a bigger opportunity just in the community for Opie rather than Rob because I don't think that either one of them is really specifically angling for a particular player from the other group. But I do know that they both would like to beat each other. So
Yeah.
I'm going Rav, but I could see obviously it could always go either way. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a situation in the other group right now where it'd be hard to angle towards anybody. That group is a whole toss up. I think anybody could win. Um, so Astatine is in the lead, and it seems will almost certainly move on. But between the other three, I think any of them could advance as well. So makes it tough. Hard to play the system here. Um, but let's get into it. Very exciting. We've got Rov as spy first. You ready, Slappy?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, let's count us down in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so we have Red Dress as our spy pick at the beginning, and it is any three of seven, so nothing's been turned off, and we are going to grab partial inspects off this first one. So it is possible that I don't. Rob kind of angled towards this. Rob had the choice of going to inspects or stopping in that conversation circle. So Rob does seem to intend to do these early inspects, and I'm curious if they're just going to try to like force like like the last thing Obi wants to do is shoot a Civ in the first game, right? That just feels awful, and Rob
Oh
just
yeah,
might force the issue.
yeah. No, Civ shooting in the first game of a set does feel just awful. I think the bar was very full, and of course, you'd love to get that early seduction, but maybe it felt just like too much. Ooh, look at that. A subtle highlight from Opiwrites, perhaps suspecting that we joined to flirt. Really, very nice, intuitive pick there.
Yeah, Rob did jam themselves in between a couple of people there, and I'm curious if that's it. And then I guess I don't know where Opie's timer comes in. I guess I'm gonna ask you this: what is the suspicious time range of someone joining in a specific spot in between people that you are gonna be the most flirt tracky for?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you've got this classic sort of spy timing in terms of when the flirt comes off. Was that what your question was really about?
Yeah. Because like
Yeah.
obviously, there's the mind game around like, do you do it immediately, like as soon as you step in, and then try to make it look like because when you step in, you have the opportunity to talk right away.
Yeah.
But as that mind game aside, how long you wait? Because if you jammed yourself next to your target, not only are you trying to talk relatively early because then you've got that in your pocket. It also starts your timer on the 45
Banana
seconds
bread.
for you to follow up. We have a fake banana
Yeah.
bread coming up, knocks out a couple of people. I think just those two, but I don't know if this is going to work out all that well for us. We are going to be. Oh, Okay, no, sorry. I thought we missed a pad for a second there. That'd be terrible. But we were just picking up fingerprint. It'd be
No, we're
so
starting.
cool if you could do the redwoods thing, by the way, right there. If you could try to
It would
steal and
be.
inspect, that would have been lovely.
Yeah, no, that'd be good. A good spy buff. Checker, please. Setting ourselves up for a potential inspect print finish if we don't want to contact. I think Opie would shoot that, but we could try it anyway. It feels like that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna get shot. But anyway, but I feel like it's sort of the classic timing for a lot of people. A nice little redirect. We're going to the statue to inspect, fingerprint, and get shot. And but I feel like half an idol is pretty classic as far as how long people generally. Yeah, there it is. Wait before they start talking. A lot of spies are very consistent with that timing, and so for really behavioral snipers, they'll often watch because they sort of know what to expect from how respectful the opponent will be. But here we are. I think a very solid, reasonable spy game from Rav, but not one that I expect Opie's gonna miss.
Yeah, I mean, like, there'd have to be some sort of. Basically, it's relying on the fake throwing off the count in some way or making, red dress seem particularly good. Like the thing that could have happened is the fake gave Opie another person they had to watch really closely and maybe they missed something else. But you're right, pretty straightforward, but not unreasonable attempt there. But Opie unlikely to drop it.
Yeah, I think both of these players are gonna have to be trickier if they're gonna want to win a spy game. But yeah, I think good to start off with a very solid game. Um, and Opiwrites was on top of a potential flirt at the beginning there, so all around very nicely played. But here we are, Opiwrites on the spy side. Let's see if he can crack Rav's sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I want Opie to do a bug plus 50-50 purloin, I think, on this one.
Yeah, that'd be nice. No,
I'm
I
just it's
I
like I don't
lost
think it's
to
no good.
yeah, in my Terrace game against Opie, I lost to a 50-50 purloin on the first game of the entire set. And so I have been there. And part of it, what made it tough, right, is that I really felt like I had to respect Opiwrites. I had to respect the possibility of a 2 green flirt. I didn't want to wait. So very tough.
Our seduction target's not going to be in the best position for us right now. We liked joining at the bar, getting a kind of distance flirt, but then they're just kind of hanging out the window, and then who knows where they're going to go after that. They're going to go to the other conversation circle. They are going to force. Okay, we have a real banana bread coming off. Everybody is in conversation circle. Pencil stash should be interesting to see how Opie reacts to this because they already have him highlight. They pick up a fingerprint potentially there. And also, seduction target forced are the ambassador out. Ooh, and Opie might be able to go on the opposite side of pencil stash and force again, like a. Oh no, we're just doing a direct here.
Yeah, I think we're framing for General who had a drink. I'm pretty sure, I think Queen joined after us, and we're shot for it.
I think that's good timing. So that might have felt fast for some viewers. Like, why did we need to shoot when we could just wait for other stuff? It is Opie like to do 2 green flirts, contact, and purloin, and just like do it now. You have to shoot. And so Rav, good on Rav for shooting right then, even though it didn't feel like they needed to. They actually shot it like 0.2 seconds before the timer would have ran out. So actually, really good timing because the shot spy happened at 9.8 seconds into the countdown timer or something.
Yeah, no, got that 10-second timer down pat. I really think that we were framing for General. It might have looked like we were flirting with General actually because we joined next to him at the bar. But it would be interesting to sort of metagame this game because this is the shot that I made against Opie when he and I played on Terrace in the first round of our tournament. Except I shot the person who went to bar and I was wrong. So, but this time the shot was right. Good on Rav. But we will move on to Ballroom, which we've doubled. So we'll get a good 4 games of Ballroom here. Rav is Buns in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Or Boots, perhaps.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, this is interesting. We gotta get out of here though, because it'd be, well, maybe we don't have to get out of here. It just looks so flirty, but it does also look flirty for Smallman. So if Rav sticks around in here, and it looks like they've obviously opted into that, they will probably be aware of the fact that Smallman, if they talk when they're next to us again, also is going to be in the pool of suspects. We
Yeah.
grab an innocent drink and head to paintings.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Rav is wanting to draw as little suspicion as possible, and then that's kind of the classic way that Rav tends to play as spy. We'll play often very slowly into the first half of the game, really try to draw as little suspicion as possible, and then kind of find a way to finish Trey at the end. Um, and and Opiwrites is very capable and very much is willing to flirt very early on. So I think it was a good move to leave, but also perhaps not wanting to look like we were sort of cheese flirting. So
It's also one of those spots where I wish you could just do like a bug, like butt cheek
Banana bread.
squeeze to get another third in without having to actually talk on Smallman and Books there. We have a contact. Double Agent leaves pretty quickly in. I do think that Opie is aware of the fact that they were in our conversation circle, but that was almost something that could have thrown Opie off a lot. But I think Opie was just hovering nearby and saw.
I think so too. I think this highlight on Teal is for joining and contacting. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, a few lowlights given, but nothing too terrible.
Oh, actually, except Smallman, which I don't like because Smallman has been, I think, had been to statues, picks up a fingerprint, possibly did like the early seduce with us. So I do think that,
Ooh.
unfortunately, it's a high quality. Okay, we do have a green time ad in here. See how that goes. But yeah, I'm a little bit bummed that that Smallman's not in there anymore because they had sown some seeds across the map.
Yeah. I think we may have technically ignored this briefcase obligation. I'm not sure if Amba had been closer. Not something I'm not sure if Opie would have noticed that or not. But we're just kind of waiting here. We got our green time ad, and this is very much the way I think Rob likes to play. Really biding our time, trying to find some opportunities. Unfortunately, we get a white flirt, but a green purloin, which is the more important green.
It is the more important green, and we're going to walk away from this pretty quickly. It looks like it is going to be a take from, and Opie is not actually looking at it directly. Not at all. So definitely doesn't see the fade, and it's going to depend on when they actually
Oh,
look at this next.
I think
Oh
I
my
think
god.
Opie might have liked that redirect after we were trying to pick up the briefcase, or maybe just wasn't totally on this purloin chain. Um, Now Rob's got in a really good position. I'm not sure what we would want to do for our last mission. Um, Aside from
Yeah,
knowing that there's fingerprints at that green bookcase.
right. No, and the thing that Rob probably feels like they're in a worse position than they are, though, is going to be the problem, right? Because that conscious laser movement on top of us. Oh, there is going to be the shot because it's just going to depend on whether or not Opie feels like they're under pressure or not, and they do. And this is obviously a huge break because I don't think Rob did anything particularly like crazy strong there. It was just a green pearl and then kind of a bounce around, and then just really inopportune time for Opie to take that low light.
Yeah, no, that's just a tragedy for Opiwrites here. I think what you were thinking was very interesting to consider too, and that could have felt like a highlight on Rov. The timing would have felt reasonable from when the purloin went off. Um, so whether he would have found a finish at all, I think here, unfortunately, Opiwrites thought that Rocker was finishing, but actually that was Rocker's second visit to the same statue. Um, so a reasonable expectation of when the spy might finish, but it was not the spy.
Yeah, and now there's gonna be a lot of pressure. And honestly, to be fair, I think that that's good at this point in the set for Opie to feel that kind of pressure. It's definitely not lost, of course, but this is gonna make Opie feel like they have to do something kind of soon, which I like. I like as a thing for them earlier rather than later. If this had been late in the set, it would just been extremely deflating. So they do get to play on their favorite venue for the next. What we got four, right? He
Yep.
doubled, so he gets
Yep.
two. You get two shots at least at Spy Side.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can find anything spicy. Opiates is rocker in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I do like the pick of either Rocker redeems themselves or gets shot again for having betrayed us there. Unfortunately, well, actually, no, not unfortunately. That was actually great that our seduction target got redirected by Smallman on the way inside of there. And we are going to join for a. I think that's enough for a 49% flirt if we hit the green, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think we're good. Unfortunately, we hit a white, but I think it would have worked. So we're in a position where we're not quite close enough for a back-to-back bug, which always would be spicy. This wouldn't be a good time for it because the front of the conversation is totally empty.
The weird thing
But
is, look at Rob's position though with the laser. Okay, he's moved now, but like for a long time, we have completely given up the back to back. We might even get credited for it, but you're right that it's not close enough. We'd have to like go away from it. But like in this position, okay, now we shifted over again.
yeah. So we're kind of waiting here. I think there's a fingerprint on this drink. Uh, so that'll give us something to work on. And there's a little bit of time since Amba took it, so maybe we can believe that that's clean.
Yeah, and we get to just kind of like see the layering. Our seduction target, hopefully we've noticed, has gone to center statues, picked up that highlight. Always the best person to frame if we need to, because usually they will have had the opportunity to flirt with us, and of course we can do a little bit of control on them if we want to.
Yes,
We've
and we
just been
can
hanging
know
out
it's
here,
not an SDA.
and we can know it's not an SDA. Yep, exactly. Obi has been committed to this position here, which I actually kind of like because okay, we are gonna do
Ooh,
this. Oh, I, I, yeah. Well, okay. I guess that could be for center statues. I'm a little bit worried about the beginning of that arm. It was for a lot of the game, that bug actually would have worked out really well. Rob had gone over just a tiny bit, and Rob does appear to be worried about swaps here, but potentially swaps for either boots or rocker here. So I'm presuming that we're going to go for a flirt and fingerprint finish here,
yes.
but we don't have that much time to do both. Especially if Ambassador stays there, keeps staying in the position that they've been in all game long.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's really going to kill us here is that we didn't hit a green first flirt. I think we're in a position where we have to manage to get a fingerprint and another flirt. Um, and I think that's going to be rough. I'm sort of wondering here whether Rob is going to shoot us for this. If he doesn't and he shoots us for the last talk, that would just be devastating. We're in a position where we would have won if we got that first green flirt.
We are, and well, I mean, okay,
There's an opportunity for a far
arguable.
flirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, arguable. Like, let's just go to that statue. Let's go to that statue now. I mean, now it's a little bit okay. Okay, we do a before pickup. We do a before pickup. I don't like that. I really don't like the before pickup. I don't know if that would have been enough. Like, so it's hard to tell if we do that. I would have. I actually I think I know where you were going, and I agree with it. Far statue, far flirt was
Yeah.
enough, and we could have gone earlier and done it after pickup.
Yeah, I think yes. I think either going for this far statue or even I don't even know, but maybe waiting a bit longer so it doesn't feel like it could have been a flirt. Like really, really wanting to I mean you don't want to risk not getting the flirt, but I think against Rov, it's just so rough. I think that the pad entry was also very ugly, although I don't think Rov saw that. Um maybe he did. He could have. But there's a little kind of ugly twitch at the end that many snipers would shoot. Um, well, that's really sad. Opiwrites could have won that game, but unfortunately, even his high green rate just didn't get that first green flirt we really needed.
Yeah, so at least Opie, I don't know if that would be more frustrating or more optimistic for Opie, but as you say, that game could have been won with two green flirts.
Yeah.
So it was the potential that the exact same game played the exact same way was actually potentially winning in there, and it's just the last little bit where Rob was able to suss it out.
Yeah, and I think if there's going to be a game that Opie's going to win, it'd be like this, where you somehow get away with early progress, and then you're sort of pairing all the suspicion together, like we did with our bug and center inspect. So, or in the few games that I've beaten Robin in the past, you get a really nice frame. So, um, but I suppose we should move on. Uh, Rov back on the spy side as pearls in 3, 2, one, playing it.
The nice thing is also it does. Okay, we are gonna do an.
Oh,
Oh, that is. Oh yeah. Okay, it doesn't take because I say that I was like, oh, that would have been super clean because actually that would have been like one of the best ways to get an early bug with white dress for just free, because it only would have taken because we were so slow. But now just barely misses. Good reaction, honestly,
yeah.
on Rob there.
Yeah, and Rav, actually a really nice path in this conversation. I don't know that Opiwrites is going to care about it, but we get nicely in here, but only for a 34% white flirt.
Yeah, I'm assuming we'll see if okay, Red Dress didn't decide to leave when they took that drink. I think there's that classic problem. I think Rob might have maybe wanted to move around right after, but then looked around, didn't see anything. It's just like, well, I guess I will. I guess I will stick around for the rest of this time now that I've already committed. Once you're like 15 seconds in, it's just like, well, I guess 30 more seconds. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, what is 30 more seconds? So, kind of waiting here. There's some good center inspect action coming in from a twin. Possibly, some AI that could bug there. We do get our
Unfortunately, on
second white
Queen, I
flirt.
was gonna say Queen could have gotten bug credit, but like the arm was just barely visible ahead of Ambassador the entire time, so no credit there, unfortunately. And we're back to
Yeah.
back with Ambassador, similar to Opie.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if there was any other part of that path that looked good, but Opiwrites actually takes a low light on that. It'd be a pretty ridiculous thing for the spy to do, very risky. So
We might
perhaps a
flirt
bit
and bug
behavioral. Yeah,
on our way out because he seems to be looking at this path, which is if briefcase. Okay, but oh no, actually, Ambassador's not going to leave because I thought they were alone in that conversation circle. If briefcase was available, it'd be a great excuse to get in there, but briefcase just isn't far enough. It looks like we're gonna finish up the flirt. We have contact available to us. It is
I think we should do
mixed.
it.
Yeah, like there's a couple people out, but it's a nice big conversation in the front, so we probably are going to. We're gonna white her. No. Okay, so he's got a banana bread like immediately,
Banana
and
bread.
here is the banana bread. There's the
We're just going for
contact.
it.
There it
Oh
is.
my gosh, I don't
That's
think.
it. Oh
Okay, all right,
nope,
all right.
nope, nope. All right.
It's
Good on
Nice.
OP for that, honestly. Like that's a really strong response. Realizing that's quick parsing, right? Because that
Yeah.
is something that that Rav and many other players would do, and they were just kind of in that situation. Is if they hit that, they got to go right then.
Yep. No, we went from one mission at minute 13 into mission win countdown about 10 seconds later. So, that's the kind of game Rob likes to play. I feel like good on Opie for putting the puzzle together. I feel like we were hoping that conversation with the Ambo is going to fill up a bit more before going for this bug. But I think a solid game that could have worked, but Opie on top of it.
Yeah, Opie's pretty good at remembering that if there's a white purloined, it can only be one person, and then just to make that into a reflex.
Yeah.
Because the thing that worked in Rob's favor was there was a reject. Sorry, there was no rejects before, so it was a drink take and then a long walk over to us. And so usually that's a spot where snipers relax a little bit on the purloin and just like mark the first as potential reject and just kind of keep that in their mind.
Yep.
And then they just like don't check it. They just they're cleaning up the rest. And then what can happen is like that you throw the banana bread on top, and then they're like on top of that, and it just takes them more than 10 seconds to uh, um, like recollect, or even just look at the fact that Trey's gone, and just take a few seconds to parse out did anyone else reject in that time, or even take in that time that it could have been, and then Opie just very quick, very decisive, and needed to be.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Opie can win a spy this last opportunity on Ballroom. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I think Opie's gonna feel a little bit like that felt. I feel like it felt adrenaline-y probably at the end there for Opie, but I think it's gonna be settling. I think rather than feeling adrenaline, rather than feeling like disappointed that the first spy that one sniper game got away from you. It's just I think a stronger position to be in. So we still do need to make up that little bit of ground, but Very possible. So it actually already joins us, by the way, and that's going to be real nice. We might even see really Smallman behind this conversation here, how close they are. We might want to get out of here after Smallman talks.
Yeah,
And we
no,
don't. We Perlin.
we're just going for it. We see the opportunity, right? Hitting that first screen flirt opens up, really opens up rushes. And
We
so
reject.
we get our first screen flirt. This chain is just going and going. We get a center inspect. And we could even consider going for a swap here if we really want to spice it up. We do. That's classic Opiwrites style. And Rob's just not having it.
Yeah, interesting. So, okay, so we was that for just the purloin? Because obviously the swap was green, so like there was enough on the purloin itself and the center inspects. I just didn't think that Rob actually had view on the list because it was only there for such a small amount of time.
I think.
I'm like watching the replay, and I
Yeah.
guess you can barely see the fade behind the drinks. That's super impressive, honestly.
Yeah, I think with Rav, what it's really all about, what makes him so good and so powerful of a sniper, gets these shots even when maybe he doesn't have the full progress, is he just knows his opponent. He knows this is the kind of play Opie likes to make. Opie likes to get away with some cheese flirt or early bug, and then green purloin center inspect, and he sees it and he shoots. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, no, and like honestly, like the fact that Rob didn't panic because okay, if I was trying to grab the edge of that fade, I would have tried to pivot to the left, and I would have quickly found myself into the bar, right? Like you'd actually I would have blocked myself even worse. The fact that Rob knew that he could see a sliver of the purloin through the drinks and then watch the fade through that was just enough, and then just came over and got the shot down. So. Yep, and they're right. Knowing that Opie possibly could be something happened. They're finishing at statues. Maybe they got a bug somehow or something like that. Um, it's a good enough reason to be like, I need to shoot now. So yeah, great instincts there again.
Yeah, well, that's how you get through the tournament with no sniper drops. But we'll see. Maybe Opie will see that and say, I think there's an opportunity to get him to civ shot if he's going to take early shots like that. So I guess we'll find out. Rav here on Kane in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now the thing is, I actually don't really know how OP plays high rise any 3 of 7. I feel like I've seen so many matches from OP that I have a pretty good sense about. Well, I mean, like obviously OP does just mix things up every once in a while as well. I straight up don't know. I don't think I know OP's theory of the game for high rise. I don't know if you played him enough to know how OP likes to approach this venue.
I'm not sure. I think really, I expect him to kind of play in his generally solid style, which is just going to be trying to finish on the early end, um, and definitely not allowing for the possibility of timing out. So, and I think that's a good distinction to make because some spies are very willing to time out. They'll say, if the game doesn't line up for me in the way that I want, I'm just going to time out or I'm just going to frame. But Opiwrites is not one of those types of players.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Opie is the one that picked High Rise, which again, it's strange to me. Just not a venue that I associate with them. It would be pretty hard down the list. I can't imagine. I don't think of Opie as like hating the venue. Like I'm not surprised Opie picked it above Taya and Redwood's ballroom or sorry balcony, various other venues and stuff like that. Like I don't think he dislikes it. But interesting that he actually kind of prioritized it in their selection.
Yeah. Getting a bounce low light here. And Rob gets the second green, but only for 76%. Still, we're on. Oh, man, another white purloin. But it's really far back in this conversation. Not enough for that, though.
There was a little bit of a worry there that it wasn't quite close enough, and I think Opie would know better. The bouncing around with the Duke in front of it was like, oh, I don't like how close that cursor is to Duke, but yeah, relatively straightforward and very Perlin centric so far. This match altogether. So except on the on Taeyan. Or sorry, no, Taeyan. There actually was the direct purloin. Okay, so never mind. All purloins. They just purloining. Just shoot for purloin. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Now I think this decision to go for this purloin was still a good one. General was our seduction target, and I can tell early in this replay that Rav is watching and seeing, oh, General went center in specs. And so if we did hit a green there, we would have put Opie in a very difficult position, because Opie would have had to, especially if General rejected too, would have had to decide, do I have to shoot General for, mission complete with center and spec purloin? So
Right.
unfortunate.
Basically, putting
Yeah.
themselves in the same position that they had to shoot for on Ballroom just a minute ago.
Yes. So I like the attempt by Rav, but unfortunately the action test doesn't line up. So, but we will move on. Now it's Opiwrites' turn on Spy as Taft. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, so Taft, intriguing pick here. The speed of Taft, not all that important, but arm self coverage is pretty nice here, and that does actually matter on high rights where the angle's fairly low, and you can kind of reliably. There's only like a certain area of like the sniper's vision where most of the bugs happen, and so a lot of those arms get seen because they sneak past your own body. So interesting choice here, and of course indicates possible bugs.
Yeah. Now we'll see if a nice bug shows up for us. I do think this end of high rise can offer Taeyan-esque bugs. That sometimes are very difficult to see that you have to consider crediting. Um, but at least to start, we're in a good position. We've got our 2 green flirts, and so our seduce is done very early. Now, I don't think that a contact center inspect wins here,
Banana bread.
but we might do it anyway, just to put a lot of pressure on Rav.
Yeah, and the difference. Okay, we are gonna be. If we could go to Windows and get a bug on the way in there, if we really wanted to try to force this issue, we
Oh,
are gonna. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. But it was just not perfectly timed, unfortunately. And Rob, honestly, I don't think. I don't. I guess they might have thought that it took. 'Cause I feel like I'm trying to imagine that it took. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you start it later somehow and whatnot, because I don't think he saw the swinging arm. I just think he thought it was like a Opie like bug path, and that this person could possibly be done. Again, more good intuition on the shot there.
yeah. Yeah, this shot's pretty insane. I mean, perhaps you could see the arm at the very beginning of Taft moving and think that's a bug, but I think that's really tough. Really nice shot from Rav. Wow.
I'm curious what would have happened if because like we if seduction target didn't partially block us, because we had intended to go for bug at that exact timing, basically the entire window of time, because we knew that ambassador is getting forced out, and that's part of, again, why we chose Taft, is that we wanted to get a bug with our left arm. I think we would have preferred to have triggered left arm bug and go behind and go into statues or something like that. But the seduction target leaving at that same time screwed up our plans there, because like you mentioned, like the conversation positioning on high rise is almost the same as Taeyan's conversation positioning, but instead the flow of the party doesn't flow in every direction around the conversation circles the way that it does in Taeyan, where there's like in every direction there is a viable like 360-degree leave condition for all of the characters, and then you throw in the shoji as like these blockers. In this one, there are 2 exits, so to speak. Well, sorry, that's actually 2. There's also windows, but there's not as many exits. You're not kind of like flowing in around as many. So there's more of these reliable paths, and I think Opie wanted to take advantage of that by getting into that localized side, get that left arm bugging, and then hit it so that their arm would be gone by the time of that. But yep, seduction messed up. That was a long-winded way to say that isn't what we wanted, and we got blocked by a seduction target. But interesting little theory there from Opie, I think.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. I almost feel like so. There's our section target leaving obviously ruined everything because we didn't the bug didn't land. It kind of messed up our path. But the end of the path looked really good. Like there was no snapback that I could see. Um, so part of me wonders if we still get shot anyway. If the selection target was there, because then I feel like we would have had to credit the bug because we wouldn't have been able to see, and I think Rob's able to do that. But I guess we'll never know. So yeah, well, moving into halftime here, Rob up by 2. This is still anybody's set. Um, but still no sniper games dropped by Rob. And with what we have left, it looks like we've got still Veranda, Gallery, and Modern.
Yeah, Veranda obviously going to be tricky. Always, every once in a while, there's just one of those things, and it's like as tricky as it is, it's also potentially should be easy for Opie to pick up that sniper win. So they'll be very focused on their spy game and just try not to let anything crazy happen. But then you're right. So Gallery, the big wild card in my mind, which are Rob's picks. So Opie on the back foot for multiple reasons, and that obviously they need to break on spy while also maintaining their sniper games, but also just don't feel like these venues are their best opportunities after this point. But we'll see. Gallery will be like kind of the focal point for me, but we have to go through Veranda first. Yeah, I don't actually
I
think that Veranda's a bad place for Opie to be in because again, I don't think there's only so much like sniper win rate you can milk out of Veranda. I can't imagine it's that much higher than Opie's on Rob's side.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. I think I agree with you though. I think Gallery is going to be if there's an opportunity for OP to break, I think it's going to be there. But here we are in Veranda, so let's see how it goes. Uh, Rob is general in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I wouldn't actually be totally surprised to see two. This would be unlikely given the stats of the game so far, but two spy wins on Gallery and it being a trade. Um,
Yeah.
I do think it's also Rob's best opportunity to just start um, really taking this set away because I didn't really feel like Rob is gonna really just like I don't think Rob's gonna get above like 10 the way that he's been able to yet. It feels fairly close and it feels like the margins are pretty low. But then again, I guess actually in your set it was looking pretty good by this point. It was actually
Yeah.
even better
I was
for
tied.
you. Yeah. So Rob could also just be warming up.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see. But at least, oh, unfortunate. Our seduction target leaves during our seduce. Um, Very sad. So, and we're just kind of killing some time in this conversation now.
Yeah,
And
like you said, it's
yeah,
unfortunate, and I don't think we want a banana bread this early. Yeah, we're
no,
just gonna peace out.
yeah, no, that's really no good. Let's see if we can squeeze close enough. Yep, so we're close enough for a 2 green. Um, oh, okay. All right. No, there's a little camera shake there. I wonder if Rob. Oh, it's a 99%. We weren't close enough for 2 green. Oh, no.
That is unfortunate, and especially given that we've already had to drop so much time into this. Now, that said, it is Veranda, so you can still always mix it in. But what it means is you're just going to be walking around a ton. I don't know if Opie. Some people you could just shoot based on activity on Veranda just because you have to do so much. And Rob's going to have to even do. Did we try to squeeze? I guess we did. I think we sold that well enough that it's not going to be a big enough problem. But Rob's actually just a little bit flustered overall, having to try to go into path, having to get to the 99% for seduction target, leaving earlier. So they are obviously behind, but it's also Veranda.
Yeah.
You're born behind on Veranda Spy.
Yeah, we couldn't even join that combo to get our last flirt percentage because seduction target was technically out picking up the briefcase. Um, and here we are. We've got a highlight. Oh, okay. It's very cute. We try to read over book. So seeing if we can get on Opie's good graces for good etiquette. but and we're going for a green
Ah.
microphone. It
Oh no! Did we get away with
looks
that?
good. Yeah, looks clean.
Wow.
Looks like we're
I
gonna be
I
okay.
I could have sworn the arm swing was going to be big enough, but I guess we were really focused on Ambassador. When I saw the laser swing over in our direction,
Ooh.
interesting.
I think that was a really nice looking bug, and in general, has these really good looking walking bugs much of the time. So, um, I think we got away with that one too. And so we're in a position that's pretty interesting. I think going for that microfilm was very spicy as well, knowing that Ambo was there, knowing that Opie was going to be, guarding a bug, but perhaps feeling good about that, feeling like this was a good opportunity to, hopefully Opie was too busy watching for the bug and not watching us.
Yeah, and we do finish up the flirt. We're like on the exact opposite side of the bookcase from them. So we're in this interesting spot here. This is the part that I don't love for us. We could microfilm here at this green bookshelf, and Opie might be cognizant of that. And so the earlier idea that we did not get the microfilm because we swung over, defended it, but didn't look at it directly can be complicated by the fact that we could have just gotten the exact same action there. We are going to green purloin here. There's a lot of zoom ins. We might not see this offer super, except there's no one else around is the only thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we saw the offer itself, but I do think Opie might be cognizant of where it came from.
Yep. And this is a time to go for a microfilm animation test that makes a lot of sense. Ambo was on the opposite side, but is now moving back. Purloin's pending. It's a white transfer, but I don't think it was noticed. Opie is really
I think
paying a lot of
Opie's
attention
gonna
over
strong
here.
shoot. Yes, like it. Okay, so I can't believe how well that timing worked for Rav. So it's bad that OP drops a Veranda game. It's actually shattering. I think this match might be over.
Yeah, devastating, yeah.
But they are so close to catching that microfilm. So it's so funny that both of these microfilms honestly are like almost on screen. Well, sorry, that it is on screen. Like you can see the head. The arm swing is actually pretty well covered by Ambassador, to be totally honest. But the head swing is on screen. But we have to start checking the purloin right at that same time. And so I'm shocked by that microfilm getting away from it because like there was two different angles in which we could have been in trouble, but we just weren't on top of everything else going on there. I'm curious how far Red Dress was because that was the problem with someone else getting shot by just a green purloin plus no contact is how did Red get up there? Opie had to feel behind.
Yeah, I'm really watching this. I feel like a lot of Red Dress's movements towards the middle of the game here are kind of suspicious. There's some early talks after joining conversation. There's finished inspects. Yeah, I'm not sure if there could have been a credited bug somewhere in here. I'm not quite seeing it, but well, that's the way cookie crumbles, I guess. There's definitely a fingerprint here. So, now Opie definitely on the back foot. Very difficult position to be in, and especially against Rav. But I guess we'll see if he can pull out a spy win here. As Teal in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It's gonna be so hard to keep your concentration up at this point though because like in competitive spy party it just kind of like sucks. It's just hard. You're having to work really hard. You're like for the amount of effort that one is putting into it in a given moment, you're not getting like all these great joyous feelings in the moment. You're just getting all of this like just like terrible concentration, feeling like you still lose if you're playing against a sniper that you can't seem to break. It's just hard. I just imagine that Opie relaxes right now, remembers that they don't have to win this set, and then just kind of like breaks. I do think it's more important for Opie to try to test something against Rob, like start planting seeds for a potential finals match. So that I do think Opie shouldn't just do nothing, but rather just like experiment at this point.
Yeah. No, I think that's very fair. I mean, I think anticipating that very well. If we get to finals, Rav is likely going to be standing there too. So seeing if we can learn something from this match. We get a nice green flirt. Our seduction target more or less immediately leaves. which is probably for the best. Opie would not like to wait for that anyway.
Yeah, I was curious if they would try to finish flirt with the book. Although we will actually get a chance because like I don't know if the timer would have been low enough that and far enough for us to
We're
rejoin,
just
and
going
it
for it.
wouldn't have been. Yeah. But we could rejoin. Oh nope, we are just going for it, like you said. Let's say we had the option to maybe like watch. Oh no, we're just dead. Good memory. Test it out. See how Rob is on microfilm, directs on Veranda, and he's good.
Yep. No, I mean that's he's pretty good generally. But I wonder if there's some reason that we thought that maybe we could get away with that. There was more activity going on the other side of the venue. But Rav was on top of it. So we'll be moving into gallery. Rav up 7-3. So we're one win away from securing a tie. So if Opie wants to win this match, he's going to have to sweep from here. But let's see whether we can do it. Rav is boots in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I think the theory of that direct was Teal, invisible at bookshelves, slam, put it and just run away. I think he thought that he had enough cover that he actually wasn't even seeing or like doing an entry in there. We walked over brief because okay, we're gonna do maybe a good bug. There's so much arm swinging in there that I can't actually tell if there was enough visibility on that. So usually arm swinging that much is bad, but I feels like we got away with it.
I think we did. Unless Opie's really trying to hide their laser, which he'll do, but not usually for this long. I would expect to see a highlight for a mission completion. And because we don't have it, I think that bug is clean. So all in all, an interesting bug. I think it's good.
Yeah, and what's really nice for Rav here is if Rav's not trying to play against type, Rav will kind of, I mean, a lot of players will hover near Ambassador, kind of like fishing, and he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, and now we've set ourselves up for a very interesting, potentially very early mission complete. If we get a second flirt here, we can go fingerprint inspect on the other statue that the ambassador was at, and we can just be done, and it'll be like 2 minutes. So let's see if we end up going for that. I think that would be the type of play that I'd expect to see. We're really trying to get in here, I think. It's going to be a fire flirt, so maybe we won't do that.
We could just contact and do the same thing, though, if we really wanted to.
We could.
That doesn't look like it. I guess you might as well do that regardless of your options in here. The question is whether we can contact. It's not great. It's like a lot of people out. So it would feel like it was in like I would be looking for rushes if I saw a contact like this because why are you contacting when you know you probably have a better opportunity in the next 2 minutes? So it looks like we're not even gonna take that. We're just gonna be waiting for this flirt, which we get rewarded for.
Okay. So interestingly, we get a highlight. I wonder if this is just a potential reject into fingerprint, but.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're not going to do that play, the initial play. So curious about that, right? But it's safer in some ways. And with the highlight, this might actually end up working out better for us because we would expect to inspect for sure from this. We actually are going to do an inspect anyway. So we're going to split it up instead of doing it both at one.
Yeah.
Which I guess
we
would
can't.
have been.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said we wouldn't have been able to anyways because I guess it was smudged.
Yeah. After that second pickup, the fingerprint was gone. So maybe we decide that fingerprintable statue is not the way to go. I think the fact that we still have to talk again makes that make more sense. I guess we'll see if this talk gets a shot or not. That's really the big thing here.
I think it will because I think we could be flirting with either pony or red dress. Oh, we miss anyways. I think shot comes off regardless. Maybe not though.
No, it doesn't look like it. No, it looks like we would have won with that. So the fact that we haven't been shot hopefully should trigger Rob to say, you know what? I think I just need to leave and cheese flirt this. Now I don't know if possibly we get shot for a 10 seconds remaining talk, but hopefully there's enough going on in the party that we don't. We're talking. No! Oh
Oh
no.
my god.
Okay. No. We still have a chance. We're good. We're good. It's all good. It's all good. No, no, really?
Oh my god.
Really? We need a green. We need a
Oh,
green.
oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my
All right.
god. It's gonna be Queen. It's gonna be Queen, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be Queen. Wow. Rav, like absolutely willing that flirt into existence. What's also funny is that I think Sedex Truck ended up taking the spot that we left in order to try to bounce it in the first time. Uh, so unbelievable finish there, but we were able to get it. But like I was way off because I thought that we had the flirt credit, and like obviously if we really thought about the flirt, not only would the last flirt got a shot, chasing would have got a shot. So the highlight, I guess, was just like a highlight because inspect fingerprint whatnot. I'm just surprised we weren't being watched that more closely because if we missed one of the two, inspect or fingerprint, um, what else would we be watching? Because like no contact went off. You should be really watching inspects fingerprints if there's no contact because that's almost certainly going to be part of their the way that they finish. Pro line hasn't happened. Swap hasn't happened. There's so little else that could be done except for fingerprint inspect, and then of course you could always assume a bug somewhere in there. But
Yeah.
interesting game. I don't.
I'm not.
That's the most worrying loss I think for me is for Opie Sniper. I think Opie should normally pick that up.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think I'm looking. The bug on the sniper side is just insane. That bug is amazing. So, um, maybe it's just a combination of that and dropping a print somewhere. Regardless, it's a very nice spy game from Rav, especially somehow finding that seduce at the end. That was very fun. So Rav has secured the tie. It seems likely he'll secure the set, but let's see if Opie's got something in there that can pull a crazy comeback. We've seen it in sets before from Opie, but here we are in gallery. Steel in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Instant time ad. No. Okay. Good choice.
We shall not. The ambassador was pretty safe. I don't know. It turns out in retrospect.
Yeah, it's like it was. I'm. I was curious if. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shake your camera, OP.
This
Then
this
the,
ST luck.
Right. I mean, we'll see what we can try to get out of this. So there are a lot of early statue visitors, so OP should bear that in mind. That's really good spread actually so far on statue visits. One of them likely to finish in the rest of this game, given how early it is. And then, yeah, I think this might end up just being a good opportunity for a frame game, given how early some of this is going. And again, statues keep getting grabbed.
Yeah. We'll see if Opie decides to go for it. For now, we're just getting an early flirt. We trust that Rav won't credit us with a bug here.
Two boots.
In front conversation.
Two boots, Rav.
Yeah.
He wants
Who
to.
Maybe not.
So the back-to-back statues, and then like just like a nice statue block on that. Honestly, if that had been just a little later, I mean, like we didn't wander around and worry about it too much. We haven't got eyes, and there you go. We got eyes on the statue again. But Boots is back-to-back with statue. We could get a double agent. Okay, I think we should do this contact.
Banana bread.
There it is. So Boots is in there for sure, and then
And
Boots
leaves
leaves
pretty
right
early,
away.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I saw Rav a little upset shake there. So Boots probably looks a little suspicious. We'll see. The Fire Lord Ethan's among us are able to get a low light for that bookcase entry.
Yeah,
But,
I guess to say one of the worst spots for a frame target to go. Very very easy to see, and then like you said, the super far away pathing in.
yeah. But at least if Rav saw it and is aware of it. Oh, look at this! Buns is picking up a fingerprint.
Gosh.
Rav wants to shoot, but he doesn't. He's confident in his count. He says that is 1 print, not 2.
I think we're gonna add time though, unfortunately, and that might ruin it for us because Rob does see the time. I would love to rule Boots out. Okay, we'll see. I think Boots actually has to do something kind of quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, Boots is. Oh, I would love there to be. I don't think there's a fingerprint on this. I would love it though. We are
Yeah.
watching. We are watching the swap.
He's watching for swap. Now, Buns is like one of the worst at blocking a swap. So actually, Rob has very little to worry about. He can see that almost the entire time. Um, so we'll see if that ends up looking good. Oh, that combo stop. Firelord Ethan has low lit. Oh, look at that. Look at that window entry. So Firelord Ethan has low lit Buns like 3 or 4 times at this point. But for Rav, is still a very high suspect.
Okay, we might play with. We're gonna play. Yes, there we go. We're gonna play. Yes, yes. I love this. Opie is playing with Toby. He's gonna actually request again. Okay, no, he's not gonna request again. Request, request, request. He's playing. He's playing. He's playing. Play, play, play. Okay. So he pulled. There's the tray. Finally. So Opie pulled. Uh, 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 oh my God! How did he find it? Ah, oh, that sucks. I really liked that. So Opie Green Test goes over to painting. Um, does a request pull on Toby at well, I guess it would have run after Seek offer. I'm trying to retrack this down. So
I think, yes.
I think we could have committed more even. That second pull, I think we could have. I guess um, we liked Ponytail getting the offer there. I mean, she does end up rejecting. But I would have thought that if we initiated that first pull, um, that we would have just kept going. And then we had the opportunity for even another pull by going into briefcase and pulling like that. Now, of course, if Rob has played enough games with constant pulling, it does, twitch Toby a little bit, and then it just makes it a little bit awkward. He just looks with his head around a lot after two. But yeah, could have happened. Something could have been going on there. But I mean, solid shot on Rob, who was, really all in on boots for 99% of that game, and then still was able to parse out the green line.
Yeah. No, very, that's tough to see. Just still finding that shot even after being so distracted by a very active AI. I do think the Toby request play was a lot of fun, and you have to do something like that if you're going to beat Rav. But unfortunately, Rav does find the shot, and so he is the victor of this match. But we'll have to still see by how much. Rav, and then so a few more good games for us. Rav as Blink Twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It's also just a bummer that he was like one of the things that we could have been worried about, given their the earlier play in this, is okay. Rob is feeling really confident in their shots, which could open them up to Civ shots. But very importantly, Rob held on Boots. Um, and then like if Boots had someone gotten away with an early fingerprint in that game, like before they saw the second one, there might have been a shot coming off for someone that was a little bit more trigger happy. So it's not just that Rav is shooting the first person that they really feel strongly about. They actually are taking the breaks when they need to, and then just something random happens later that can bail them out. So
Yeah.
real strong stuff.
Yeah, and I think deciding when you really need to shoot your top suspect and when you can wait, I think is um, it's a tricky skill, and Rav really was able and willing to hold there. Very impressive stuff. Um, but here we are. We've got our first green flirt, just waiting in this very, pretty full convo, but yet there's still so much movement. Um, I think maybe 15 or 20 seconds ago we might have thought about getting a contact, but it just didn't line up.
Also like that Rav made Boots his seduction target, just continuing that that affect the effect for it. No, okay, good. I was to say we could have gone for a behind the back bug, as Twin's pretty good in that position. Except I think that OP could have been looking for a snapback, and it doesn't look like we would have gotten it anyways. So
Yeah,
I think that was smart.
I think we're more exposed than it feels like. So, but just waiting. That front convo looks very full. I don't think we can flirt there. Rob's deciding what can I do, what should I do. Everything sort of feels bad. I guess
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Our selection target is finally coming in, so perhaps we'll go for a flirt now.
I think they're going back to the same statue that they were at before, so not much additional action coming out of seduction target. But Boots, though, yeah, like when if we ever get what is it called, dossiers, Boots might be one of the statue like proficient. I forget what the terms that they were thinking of, but like more apt to go to statues than other characters.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way these few games. Ooh, a nice little convo stop from our selection target. We're still waiting here. 120 left. Still only with this 51% flirt. If we're going to try to finish this game, we're gonna need to do something. Maybe we want to go for this contact. Are we gonna do that?
I mean,
No.
it's hard to resist this painting seduction. Like he's a stronger man than me because I would have loved to just like go back to back and just like jump in there just so quick. But I mean, it's very spy-like, right? Because it's to compute to the AI, it doesn't really matter how close they are and whatnot, and just like jumping over back to back can look like you're just grabbing that flirt. But we do resist. We have this blue book in hand, which I guess we might have to do something with that because we've been doing nothing all game.
I don't see how we finish. There's 34 seconds left. We can contact dump, but then we still only have 2 missions. Oh,
Get shot. Boots get shot.
Boots gets shot. Oh, God.
Opie did what Rob did not have the strength to do, and just puts Boots down. Okay, but actually for what though? Was it so? It looks like for grabbing. Did Boots actually have? Okay,
Yes,
so Boots
does have inspects.
but no, fingerprints. I meant.
Oh, okay.
Because Boots definitely has inspects because went visited the front statue twice and the back statue right at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
But where's the other fingerprint from? I can't imagine that they did. Now Boots did go kind of near a briefcase another time. Interesting. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't actually know if there was a second fingerprint. I'm scrubbing for it, but I don't think there is. I think it would be maybe funny for Boots to be picked by Rob, and so it might have just been a mind game thing.
Yeah, there might have been a credited bug in here. There's some close movement near the door. Yeah. Well, I guess Boots gets what they deserve. This AI really asking for it. But we're back on Opiwrites as queen in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now the kind of like not the win condition obviously at this point, but like Opie would just love to get one spy win past Rav at this point. I think that's the goal for Opie in the rest of these games to just prove to yourself that Rav's sniper is beatable. Also, Opie's going to be sick of just hearing about, man, so many, like, this is like the 3rd or 4th time that spies have missed this particular pad. It doesn't matter at all because it's pretty much a painting pad. We are just going to lean in, but I feel like Rav must
he's lining up the
this.
shot. Yeah.
I don't even know what, I don't know what Opie was thinking, except for just like, I guess, but like, that does not feel like the time. Like Toby's not even in like as an offer at that moment. I don't know. I just don't think Opie cares that much and just doing stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you're in this position. You're just like, well, it's right here. Maybe I should do it. But alas, a spy was shot, and we're on Modern. So there will be one more chance for a spy win. Let's see if it's Rav in 3, 2, 1, playing it as general. Just kidding. I mean, technically, there's 2 chances for a spy win. We'll see if either of them win.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good shot that Opie doesn't beat your mark on Rav. So at least there's that to be able to let Opie know that they are worse than you by one transitive property, but not another.
Yes. So we take this delegate. Always a solid play on Modern. And our selection target leaves, but will we chase them? What will we do?
This path is really awkward.
It is.
It's a loopy, like it's like no like skips stuff like that. It's just like the theory of the path kind of fell apart in there. But I mean, it is what it is. But just like walking that close to the glass, I guess is the part that's might throw some people in to a highlight situation. We are still chasing in here. There's going to be this interesting redirect. We're going to take this bounce opportunity. We're going to bounce the seduction target ourselves, who was
Oh,
maybe going for this conversation circle, and we cut them off. So now they're
yeah.
at bookcase, and there's just nothing to do here. And I think we've burned all the time for this pearl. I don't think it possibly could get taken at this
Yeah.
point.
This highlight is very interesting. We technically ignored briefcase obligation. I'm wondering if that's what it's for, um, versus whether there's something else about that path we didn't like, the bounce or redirect. Um, not the position you want to be in with no progress and a highlight, but I'm not sure if Rav realizes that they're particularly suspicious. We'll find out. Quite a bit of uh, pass through with one of the AI as well, getting into that conversation. A 34%, and we're just bailing. I wonder if we would consider time ed.
Yep, I think both of these players are playing pretty loose at this point. Because I agreed that path into that position, like we path kind of through another person and then we loop directly in. It looks like we're flirting
Ooh,
with pencil now. So we actually shouldn't talk here. But now it's going to be like, well, why didn't you talk if you came into here and then chase seek? Um, so we'll see what happens here. Are we going to actually try to run down this flirt at bar? We can get there in time. Yeah. We're gonna get
yeah,
pretty close. I don't actually think we need to get this close for
yeah.
this.
And we actually went for this flirt even before requesting the drink, which technically is too late. But you only get punished and shot for it if the sniper's watching. So, with the time ad and the second flirt, now we're 85% with a delegate. The bar's been relatively active. We'll see if we can get anything out of it.
Yeah, if Opie takes some little behavioral or small highlights, I'll believe more that Rob isn't dead. But if Opie only takes hard lowlights from here on out, and perfunctory highlights, I think that Rob is dead. But we'll see.
Yep. Okay. We do send that delegate. Uh, if all three of these people at bar actually take it, it might not even go. Irish is gonna get a request before us. I'm a little worried this is gonna expire.
I think it is. I think you're right. And I'm not surprised. Uh, uh, I've seen a lot of Rob Purloin's timeout. Um, yep,
Yep,
there it
there it
goes.
is. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, we had that time, and we actually ended up really needing that time ad and did a lot. But like, we have one mission done on Modern. We are gonna get this difficult fingerprint possibly. We
We
fail.
miss
We're
it.
just yeah. I don't even know what to do. I guess we frame Purloin, banana bread, frame Purloin, hope.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
maybe
a
frame boots or sorry, not boots. Pony here.
this is a spy game that feels decidedly lost. But Opie has shot civs a couple times this set, and we didn't really provoke those shots. So maybe we just try to hang in there and sort of hope. It looks like we are going to try to frame Alice on a purloin here.
I feel like it's too late.
Is
I
this
feel like
even
not
gonna?
not do a direct. Yeah, we're gonna take another delegate.
Okay,
Um,
yeah.
so send. But
Who are we
really
gonna send?
importantly, double
Nobody's.
agent it. So we sent Alice immediately.
Yeah.
Um, but what
So
do
I
we
don't
do for
think about this
5?
because yeah, they're not gonna take the list early enough for there not to be overtime, and so it's just kind of we're just hitting banana bread for
Is this
fun.
are never even gonna happen before? It does happen before timer. Technically, it
Yeah.
happens before timer goes out. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, it was just a messy game.
I
Uh,
I think we get shot for direct purloin, but I also think that it was a higher win percentage play. 'Cause I think the delegate here never wins. Nobody's gonna delegate in time. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yep, agreed. I think Rob just like didn't care after a certain point. I do think they wanted to potentially do better finish, like they were trying to cobble something half-heartedly together. But just yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. Well, regardless, Opie has one final chance to get spy game against Rob, and I think if he wins this, it will be the moral victory for the ages that we all need, that I need. Uh, that whoever Rob is going to be playing in the semifinals is going to need. Um, well, no pressure, Opie. Let's see how it goes. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I'm saying like it is good to know that Rob is human, but Rob's only human half the time. Rob's human as spy, and then transforms into an absolute fucking monster.
So you're telling me Rob is a cyborg. A cyborg with a sniper rifle.
All right. Well, so I expect something kind of like wonky here. Like we could even, I was to say, maybe even a swap. That would be way too early, and that would just be Opie giving up. But I think that Opie would like to try something just fun here, like just end on a fun note. When you play out tiebreakers, especially because like oh, okay, we almost missed that pad.
Yeah,
In the
our
times where you
selection
like
target
you
was
just
here. This was basically obligatory. Anyway, sorry.
right. Oh no no no. The question is whether or not we green swap too. We might. I mean, we're waiting maybe to see where they go. No, we're just gonna put down.
Yeah. The DA was in. Could we have done it? I'm trying to see where our selection target's going, but I can't see them. Let's see. No, they went to bar. Okay.
I don't think we're gonna add time here. I think we want we want to be fast. Double agent is picking up a briefcase, so we got nothing there. We're gonna hang out in this useless conversation circle, super far away from someone. This is one of those conversation circles that's basically a window pad. When you stand this far away from someone and not even trying to get flirts in here, just hang out here. Do we want to go for that conversation circle? We'll be walking over a briefcase. I don't actually. Would we be obligated at this range? It feels like we'd be just out of range. Probably it doesn't matter. This twin's gonna other twin's
Yeah,
gonna get it.
I think questionable. Yeah, I'm not sure. But the other twin will clear us temporarily. Uh, as he puts it immediately back down, our selection target starts leaving. Opiwrites decides he thinks that we should be obligated. Is this a difficult?
No, I think it got
No.
picked up twice.
Okay. So
Sometimes I go to that super noxious spot. Like honestly, like this part of Modern over here, just kind of trash. Like I
yeah.
feel like something has to go out there, other than just like standing kind of far off.
Okay.
There
So
it
we go for
is.
the green swap now. This is our third set of statue visits, which is still still could be AI like. Once you get to 4 or 5, that's always the spy. But 3, that's an AI number. We do get
Oh,
our
correct.
finished seduce, but will Rav see the swap? The swap comes off,
I think it's
and
gonna be a shot.
nope.
Yep.
It's Rav continues with his very impressive sniper streak. Doesn't lose a single sniper game. Again.
Doesn't. Opie would have preferred, I think, taking that's the thing about green swap that just kind of like I wish green swap you had something like you could like trigger the take because it's just so fast that like I would like to be able to go from that statue, go to bar, and take a purloin before the green swap came off. Even if I booked it from one to the other, take before that takes. But on Modern, there's just so many people around. There's always gonna be someone that gets obligated for it. It's always gonna be kind of fast. Green swaps are just kind of bad on this map, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, even if OP was able to take a direct or something like that, probably get shot regardless. But
Yeah.
not like that.
I feel like the back set is sometimes a bit better because the conversation circle, if it's full up, can block that a bit sometimes. Maybe if you get a low light to take it and it's just never checked. But Rav is pretty disciplined, and I expect that he checks. And you know, maybe the way to beat Rav is you go and white swap as salmon and hope that he's not looking at the fade. But alas, no dice. Rav wins another sniper game, putting him to 24 out of 24 for a final score of 12-4. So about as commanding a victory as it was against the other two players in this group, myself and Martini. Very well played.
Yeah, and I mean, also not to underplay something. This is one of the most dominant competitive sniper streaks since the days of Crazy Kaylee. But crazy. Kaylee played against worse spies on more favorable sniper matchups. So like I think it has gone on like Kaylee's been out of here long enough that people are going to be more willing to say that Rav is maybe the best sniper of all time. For a long time, it was just hard to say that given the competitive dominance of Kaylee. But like again, it's quality of play, and that these venues aren't like nearly as unfriendly as Kaylee's heyday. So yeah, of course, not to any shit against Kaylee. Kaylee would have also gotten better at sniper if Kaylee had stuck around. But I just want to emphasize here, this is incredible to see at this point. Like seeing this kind of sniper play sustained at this level against the best players is impressive and very intimidating for those unfortunate enough to have to play him in the next round.
Yeah. What a delight to see. So, very nice set. I think I'm very excited to see how these players proceed. Perhaps they will meet again in the grand finals. I think if that occurs, Opie has learned a lot, and perhaps we'll be prepared to see if they can sneak something by next time. But in the meantime, we still have a lot to see from the bottom bracket. So there will be some more casts to see who will become the victor there and who will move on. I think Astine Effect is very likely to move on with a 2-0 record. And then, but we'll see how it all shakes out.
I mean, it's weird. I'm curious if like I want to know how Meteoric somehow wins again. Like, because Meteoric the only person that ever has won this tournament, and just turns it up, just wants that money. So like again, like the narrative here is like Rav incredibly seemingly unbreakable, and then just someone who just wants to get that money just comes in and beats them somehow anyways, even though they're in this incredible dominant streak. So we'll see how that plays out.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Minirak. Would love to see him win again. Just kind of swoop in once a year. But at the same time, gotta say, I'm a big Astine Firelord Ethan fan. Both of them, really just dominant players this year. Getting first and second most every competitive tournament. And I'm also a big Lev fan. I want to see him pull something out, maybe inch into second. So lots of fun games yet to see.
Absolutely. Actually, the very last game actually looks a lot like Lev's PFP. Like if it's not in the right spot on Modern, but Twin gets shot, does that same animation, just different location on the same venue. So I don't know if that's a good or bad omen for Lev there, but maybe.
I would say anything having to do with Rob is probably a bad omen for the other players. I think definitely right now the player to beat. Let's see if somebody can do it.
Awesome.
Well, thanks to everybody for watching. So much fun casting with you, Slappy, and really appreciate Rustler hosting all these tournament matches. So many tournament matches. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.